Alrighty. Hello, everyone. We are. Do a little quick transition. We're back. Hello. We're back at the desk with the IRL Dizzy Hands. We are here, and we are still carrying on with goals achieved during my first ever Tipathon thing. What happened on Saturday, or at least it started on Saturday. I guess it's still happening. Camera's still very wobbly. That's probably always going to be the case with this arm and this camera, and it's on a very wobbly desk. If I'm honest, it's very inconvenient. Don't need that anymore. But yeah, we've been digging up and putting together little dino boys from little dig your own dinosaurs kits. Hey, Kingo, welcome on in. Hello there to anybody else who may have joined us while we were on the break. I just realised that my nails are filthy, but they could be cleaner if they're appearing on screen. But it's probably fine because as soon as I start touching this, everything's all going to go to hell anyway. Because it's been cleaned as much as I could clean it without sort of destroying it because it is unvarnished, untreated wood. And I think it is just going to be a bit pink forever now. That is the fault of this guy. I apologize for the tripod posture. There is no other way to make him stand. But this was the last dinosaur that we dug out. This is a little glow in the dark T Rex. And I can confirm that he does glow in the dark for at least 5 minutes. I'm not sure if you guys have actually seen him all sort of properly assembled. I don't know if I managed to do that by the end of the last stream because he does not. Maybe because he is old. This is a kit from 2001 that I started digging up when I was probably in 2001. He does not fit together tremendously well, bless him. So I can't remember if I did actually put him together on stream last time, but here he is in all his T-Rexy glory. We actually completed 3 goals worth of things last time, and you guys were certainly generous and donated 5 exclamation mark goals worth of things for me to do. So we still have 2 dinos to dig out of the blocks. Meteor says what this teaches us is that T-Rex can unhinge their jaws like a snake. I'm not sure this is how snakes unhinge their jaws. Because isn't the fancy thing that snakes do that they can stretch or detach this bit down the middle? Okay, it says when I was in 2001. When was I last in 2001? I guess it would have been December the 31st, 2001? That I was last in 2001? That seems likely. Before my hands get too filthy, we will of course have a quick appearance from the lovely Kingo. We have one in the chat, and we have one here in Umbreon form. And of course Sutek, who also showed up last time. Our wonderful Espion, gifted by lovely chatters on Throne. Another lovely chatter was generous enough to get another Throne gift last time as well, which was gorgeous and desirable of them. And so, we are going to. I don't know if the words on that are in focus for you. There we go. We are going to dig it out. We are going to go into block number 4. This comes from a 5-in-1 dinosaur expedition kit by Graphics. This kit is a lot younger than the ones that I had when I was really small. This was bought on a whim as like I used to love doing those as a kid. I wonder if I would enjoy doing it as an adult thing, that I then obviously never got around to doing. But it's here with us to do now. We have 5 of these. There's 5 different possible dinosaurs, and I do not know which one is in which block. It lists on the front of the box that there are instructions, but there were no instructions inside the box when I acquired it. So, I have no idea what has happened to those. This was a charity shop find. We are going to have on our 10 hours of Celtic music by the lovely Adrian von Ziegler, which is what we had last time, or we're not if the YouTube tab crashes. That's always a good start. And by always, I do of course mean never. There we go, that sounds like music. hope you guys are hearing music. I hope you guys are hearing music at the right volume, because as soon as I get into this, my hands are going to be horrendous, and I won't be able to touch it. I tell you what, I do need to mute quickly so I can have a good cough. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. And yes, if there is no further things to do, let us begin. Now, just by casually observing some of the blocks, some of them have had actually bits of plastic on the surface. I don't think this one does. This feels very soft to the touch. I did off screen. If I just do that with my nail, I could dig into that deep with just my nail. Yeah, I can leave marks on this. So maybe the softness of this will mean that we get through it a lot more quickly if we're lucky. It may also mean that the chisel is a bad idea. I don't know. The tools that we have at our disposal are we have a chisel and a hammer to hit it with. I've been expressly told I'm allowed to hit this chisel with this hammer. We have a variety of other scraping and gouging tools. We have two different sizes of sort of scrapey spiky thing that are very useful for us. These are the closest thing to what a real paleontologist would use. A real paleontologist would use, it's called like an air needle or an air gun or something. And it is a pneumatically powered needle that just sort of stabs many times a second, almost like a tiny little jackhammer. I don't have one of those, they cost a few $100. You're very disappointed by this tool selection? Meatomator, what tools would you like me to add to my tool selection? For future dinosaur digging Tipathons, if they become a thing. The other tools that we have are tools from the sets that we have already previously opened. So we have some nice little brushes, which obviously are not that useful right now. We have a baby's first sort of chisel type thing. And we have a tiny, tiny wooden hammer and chisel. Which, to be fair, actually might work on this. It might be soft enough. Yeah, it does. Oh, really, Kingo? What would that be? But yeah, we're just going to sort of get into this. Because there's nothing exposed at any of the surfaces that I can see, we kind of just need to sort of start exploring, maybe a little cautiously. Because what I don't want to do is just drive this thing deep into the rock and crack whatever plastic thing is in there or shatter it or something. Meatman says, if you're going to use it just like that, a wooden or rubber mallet would be better than a jeweler's hammer. I am sure it would be. I fully understand that this is not perhaps the correct hammer for the job. It is unfortunately the hammer I have available to me for the job. I don't think I know what one of those is, Kingo. Yeah, I guess. Can I gouge? I can gouge quite effectively, essentially. I'm thinking this might be the way to start. Just to sort of dig, more literally than normal, with this, until we find something. I was thinking that Meatomator. I didn't realize there was a specific machine for that. This is a very effective digging tool in this material. Blimey. Oh, we've hit something. I think. Yes, we've hit something. I see it. Okay. This might go really fast compared to the last one. I don't know if you can see that. It's in there. Okay. Now that we know where it is, we can... Gosh, this is scarily effective compared to what we had to deal with last time. Yeah, last time... so the reason why Tipathon didn't happen more over the weekend is just because the rock we were dealing with last time, it just totally knackered me. And I woke up on Sunday with just my back muscles absolutely screaming at me. And in fact, me absolutely screaming in general, because of how much they hurt. Okay, it's quite soft. The bone that we're dealing with in here. I'm worried I was too gung-ho with this, that I may have actually chipped it slightly. We will probably not find a lot of use for the chisel. But I mean, this spike, look, if I just push in with my hand, you can see how deep I can get that spike just without any assistance at all. So the hammer and chisel probably won't be necessary. In fact, honestly, I might want to use this. It's the tool provided for the job. I think this is the one that came with this set. And honestly, it actually might be the right tool for the job. This tool came with the very first one we did. It's a sort of a scraping tool. And we didn't really use it very much on the first one. We tried it on the second one. And we wore a slight groove in the sandstone of the second one. And it just totally ground this almost smooth, which I found very fun at the time. Mitchman says you should go somewhat holding at least an edge to push against on your board, because you could easily mess up your hands that way and make heavy about your hands. I don't think I understand the sentence that you have just said to me, Tipathon, but I do at least appreciate the sentiment. Yeah, once I've found the bone, basically what I want to do is find the sort of the edges of that bone, so that I know what bit I need to get around to get it out. When I gouge while holding the piece in my left hand, I can easily slip and hurt myself. I see. Okay. In an ideal world, we would have a pin vise or something similar to hold these in, but I do not have such a thing at my disposal. And they're not designed for use for that, because obviously they're designed for small children to do them, and not to use proper metal tools. If I drove 2 screws in my board to push against hands free, it would be safer. I see. Unfortunately, I also do not believe that is an option, but I will bear it in mind. Is there anything I could put in the board? I mean, I could put other blocks in the board, I guess, to brace against, like that. Wouldn't be ideal, but I could do it. This is so weird after the last one being really quite tough, and this one just being so soft. This is bewildering. I was worried that I've set myself a time limit of no later than 7 today. If we're still digging at 7, we hang up and we come back to Tipathon Part 3. Because I was, the last one took several hours, and I was worried that these would be the same. But if it all goes this quickly, honestly, we might be able to finish our 2 goals that we have today, unless anyone is feeling particularly generous / sadistic. This says work holding is super important for safety. Even I, a professional butch, can count 8 recent hand injuries. That's a lot. I mean, I should be more wary because I have my own collection of I don't know if the camera... My last camera was not good enough to pick it up. This one might be if it wasn't so washed out. Camera. Can focus. You can't see it. It's partly it's washed out because it's washed out, and partly it's washed out because it's covered in plaster dust. But I have a big old scar on this finger from an accident in the lab when I was working as a PhD student. I was using a razor blade to open a little plasticky bottle that you open with razor blades. If any of you have ever used a machine called an ultracentrifuge, which is more or less exactly what it says on the tin, it's a centrifuge but way better. You heat seal your little plasticky bottles that you put in that, and you razor blade them open. And I was obviously not holding it properly, and just went straight through the bottle and straight into my finger, and cut it nearly down to the bone. But how can we donate, Dizzy? Oh my goodness, me tomato, you're so correct, because I do not have the little timer going. You can type !tip in the chat. I'm going to see if I can use the barest bits of my fingers to set the reminder going on the loop. There we go. Streamlabs is there straight away. Yeah, you can go to there and you can donate. That's wonderful. I am going to TwitchCon this year. It is a little bit expensive. Anything you can do to help me out is massively appreciated. Any donations in bits and any donations as thrown gifts are also counted and added to the goal. I will have to do those manually because the Streamlabs tipping widget does not track those. But they will be added and done. Last time I totally forgot. You'll see that we're currently sitting at 65.69. When we left off, we were at 62. It's because last time I totally forgot to add the 369 bits that one very generous individual cheered me for. So thank you to them for that. And apologies for sort of forgetting and losing it last time. Move that out of the way because we're currently just kind of pushing down. This is so much nicer to work than the last rock. This is unbelievable. This is going to go so much quicker. Last time we started with like 4 bones half out of the rock and it still took us several hours. So you can see here we've got 2 bones. They're not high contrast, so it may be a little bit of a struggle. But we've got this which looks like a hip bone coming down here, and we have these ridges which are a spine. The real question is obviously on a real dinosaur, each hip bone and each vertebra would come out separately. Because this is a plastic model, that will not be the case. Oh my goodness.
Please use this money to acquire safer working practices.
Please use this money to acquire safer working practices. Thank you so much to a professional butch, which I'm going to make an educated guess as to the nature of that donator. Thank you so much for tipping a tenner. You have pushed us just over the goal for me to do a 3rd block. My goodness. I will get that updated in just a moment. I want to get this one bone out because I can see it's really close. What I was going to say was, because it's a plastic model, you know, we can expect that it won't just be a hip bone and it won't just be one vertebra at a time. They will come out as perhaps a whole leg, perhaps a whole spine or half a spine at once, which makes our jobs a little hard. But does at least mean that we have fewer discrete pieces to get out. Well, that could be anyone, says me to get on. Noted. Duly noted. Oh, look at that material just coming away like that. Oh, I wish the last one had been this nice. Alright, there we go. That is a bone. Oh, I think this is not a hip bone. I think this is a shoulder and then some hands. I think that's what we've got here. Alright, I'm gonna have to go away and wash my hands, so you guys are gonna lose me for a second. Because I need to do some typing to update the goal to the next level. I think the next level is going to be a full 100, which is a terrifying amount. to not even to beat it, just to consider being it, and represents stonking generosity from you guys. Like I said, I'll be right back. Bear with me for a sec. Oh man, you know what else is better about this than the last rock? It doesn't stain. The last one made just everything pink, which is why this board is still pink. What are we on? We're on. The goal on Streamlabs is not updated. Bad Streamlabs. We're on 7.5.69. So that's where we need to start the next one off from. Streamlabs, very foolishly, does not have it doesn't have a way to update a goal. You can either end a goal or you can reset it to 0. But you can't do anything else while the goal is up and running, which I think is very silly. What number is this going to be? Like, what number dinosaur is this going to be? We've done 3 there. We've got 2 waiting to go. We've now got 3 waiting to go. So this would be number 7? God, that would be number 7. That's a terrifying number as well. I need to set an end date as well. Which I also find kind of weird. There we go. Okay, new goal bar is up at the top. Crazy. Dizzy hands are back in the picture. Did I mention that like the other nice thing about this is it doesn't stain? Like that, I just wash my hands and they're just clean, almost immediately. Unlike the last one where it was intense scrubbing action. Okay, we have the spine here. I need to figure out how far back it goes. I can see. I don't know if you guys will be able to see. I'll pull that up for you. There's another bone here we've exposed a tiny little bit of. So that will be getting in the way. No doubt. Oh, this curves around. It must be a tail, I guess. It curves around there. It says, "Well, your hands are so pale and smooth." Oh, Kingo. Oh, poor Kingo. That would be an amusing nickname, though. You're a scrub, but you're really intense about it. Okay, we're gonna start coming in from this side. So I think that will make our lives a bit easier. And because I'm not using the metal tool, I'm much less worried about actually damaging the plastic. It does mean I'm being perhaps less cautious than a true dino hunter aficionado ought to be. I'm sort of wondering if I can actually snap off this whole corner. So if you see me doing this, just marking a line, I'm gonna see if I. Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna see if I can do that. There we go. Some of these bones are quite small, so there absolutely could be a bone. So I'm gonna leave it to the side to check for later if we're missing a piece. Meatman says sadly they did not want no scrubs. So they did want some scrubs? I assume you're making a song reference, Meatman, but I do not know the song. For which I apologise. Okay. Ethan says, Dizzy, can we send you one of those novelty spoons shaped like a shovel for this purpose? I don't have a PO box. You could you could suggest one as a gift on Throne, I suppose. If you have one, I don't think there's a convenient way of you getting it to me, unless you're planning to come to TwitchCon. Oh! This thing I thought was a spine is not a spine. It's a ribcage. It's the inside of a ribcage. Ah. Oh, so we hadn't found the second bone. We just found the top part of the same bone. Where's me little one? Where's me little spine? There we go. I'm a little more hesitant to use the metal tool when I don't really have to, especially because this is so soft. I feel like I could push a metal tool all the way through this and straight into some plastic. It's like Disney needs some TLC in their life. Aww. Alright, we've got a second piece out. There's some join holes here. Oh, this is for the same. So because the instructions have gone walking, it's because it's a charity shop find. I have no idea how many parts we're expecting, and I'm going to have to sort of improvise how they go together, like myself. So if we end up with some sort of hideous kind of Elasmosaurus monstrosity with the head on that, it's entirely my fault. But we have our first two pieces together. Okay, and that is all the bones that we have so far uncovered. I'm gonna see if I can blop down the middle of this. Just to kind of double check and clear it of having any dangles in it. Okay, nothing in there. Nothing in there. Alright, I'm satisfied. Tragically large coconuts! Is it tragic because they fell on someone? Is that the tragedy? Oops, I've just sprayed myself with plaster dust. That's fine, that's an anticipated part of things happening. Notice we have the plastic sheet down, so that all of the sensitive electronics that we can shield from dust and debris are shielded from dust and debris. This is very effective actually, just doing this. And this also, it breaks off in chunks a lot of the time as well, which the last one didn't, which is also super nice. Presumably they're just too big. Also the vintage bingo. Yes, the vintage bingo, I should say, is acting as a stand for the second monitor. Well, technically it's acting as a stand for the first monitor. That's why it's there. I always forget that that's an odd thing to have on one's desk. I mean, if it comes to it, the like Christmas present wrapped bricks are also an odd thing to have on one's desk if you don't know what they're there for. Maybe I should go back to the long gouge with this. Oh, Meat Tomato might be crossing there. Just like bingo. I have never played bingo in the traditional sense, in the sort of the calling out numbers sense, which is what I assume what this box does. Honestly, I've not even opened the box enough to know if that's what that kind of bingo is, but I assume that's the kind of bingo that is. I've never played that. So maybe I would like it, but I don't currently like it. Because I don't currently know enough about it to like it. We've uncovered another bone. You can see it there. So that is our new objective. This is quite a big bit here. I'm just gonna break that up just in case. There we go. Just getting all the lore today. Is that lore? I suppose. Oh, we found another bit of bone. Found a different bone on our way to this bone because this bone's quite deep in. Guess we'll start with this one then, as it is a lot more accessible. Oh look, in fact, we can see it. Possibly another one? Not really sure just yet. Yeah, so the basic idea of fossil prep, or at least manual fossil prep, is that you just exploit like the natural plane of weakness between the boundary of the fossil and the surrounding matrix. And in an ideal world, I'm not very good at this. In an ideal world, you don't even really touch the fossil, because you'll damage the fossil if you touch it with a tool. In an ideal world, you just touch the rock around it and make it flick off that way. We can afford to be a lot more rough with this because it's only plastic, and also it is plastic, and so it's more durable than the average fossil. And also because we don't have the fancy kit, we don't have the fancy air gun, so we can't do things the gentle way, particularly. Yeah, you see, like I did not dig that deep. It just broke off anyway. So the join between plastic and plaster is not strong. Not strong enough to kind of hold against any real disruption, which is like ideally what we want. This is ideal. Would you touch the rock? I'm sure the rock's a cool enough guy. He's not up there on my lists of celebrities to touch. I don't think I have a list of celebrities to touch, but if I did, he would be up there. I have no idea what bit this is, by the way, that we've uncovered here. Like it's just like the inside of a shell or something. I don't think it's not the matching rib because it doesn't have holes in it. He would break him open and look for bones. I mean, I think I'd be fairly convinced of finding bones. I don't think they're the sorts of bones that I'm particularly interested in. Any of the bones that the rock has to offer, if I'm honest. No, seriously, what the hell is this? What have I found? This feels like people are gonna find this VOD later in like a post-apocalyptic, like destroyed lab. I'm gonna be like, what have I found? What is this? Continues to dig deeper. I have no idea what this strange object could possibly be. Bodies lying strewn across the lab floor. All it really needs is someone in chat to be like, no, Dizzy, you shouldn't be digging out things that you don't know what they are. And for me to then say, no, you fool, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm a trained paleontologist. Which I'm not really. Like, I have a degree in it. Which I guess is training of a sort. but I've never received like professional paleontology training. Oh my god, there's just a wealth of bones here, my goodness. We're just swimming in dinosaur bones. The untrained paleontologist. That could be the name of a show. The untrained paleontologist. You know, I have no idea what this bone is that I found either. None of these dinosaurs are ankylosaurs, are they? Like, these could be an ankylosaur. This could be an ankylosaur like clubtail? Maybe? I'm also going to remember to keep my posture like, gotta be up straight. Not hunching forward. Not shrimping. It says one of the options, my back to work advisor floated to me was paleontology. I mean, never mind whether you could do it without qualifications, because you absolutely can do like digs and stuff as a volunteer, but it's such an insanely competitive field. You know, you wouldn't just sort of try and go into it on a whim. You know, it's like how if you want to apply for medicine at uni, you really got to be committed to applying to medicine. You don't just do it on a whim. Although I knew somebody who nearly did apply to medicine on a whim, because he idly said it to his girlfriend's parents because he didn't have a good answer for what he was going to apply for, and then he was just like, I'll stick with this for a while. Thankfully, he did eventually give up on that. Because that would have been the worst origin story for becoming a doctor imaginable. Okay, we've got so much going on here. We might just end up pulling out a lump of several bones at once, and then having to kind of disentangle them from there. I've been burned before about something being a spine, but this feels like a spine. This feels like a spine. Is that a Thagomycin named after the late Thag Simmons? Probably not, based on what I'm seeing, but I really don't know at this stage. It's especially weird because this feels very theropod as an upper body. And like, what theropod has this going on? Kaya says, I went to school with somebody who went to Oxford for medicine. Me, because I went to a slightly nobby school, we had several people who were like applying for Oxbridge, and there was like a whole dedicated sort of internal stream for supporting people who are applying for medicine and people who are applying for Oxbridge. Technically I applied for Oxbridge, I applied to Cambridge, I applied to Sydney Sussex College. I was rejected, and I was not especially sad about it. Ah, there we go, okay. There's a bone free. This is going to be a tail? Maybe the very end of a tail? These kits are in a lot more pieces than the last one. Oh, that's a terrible joke. Yes, she also spent every day revising after sixth form and is the granddaughter of one of the most culturally significant people in England of the past 70 years. I wonder who that could be. Granddaughter of one of the most culturally significant people. Is she in Attenborough? I don't know who that is, me tomaton. I mean, you do not have to dox either yourself or her. I'm just wildly speculating. Founder of the British League of Fascists. Ew. Gross. And also, not that culturally significant, I guess, if I've never heard of them. And you know, I think I am noticeably more politically aware than the average person as well. To some extent, you kind of have to be as queer as I am. Oh, you sweet summer child. It's not something significant to us, is a significant part of English cultural identity. So, like, oh, were they like one of the footballers who were in the World Cup final in '66 or whenever? That sort of culturally significant person, or maybe like a cricketer? That's fucking well. There's another bit, on top of all the other bits, there's a bit here sticking out. Yeah, maybe somebody would be able to like discover who you are and out you from that Kingo, but not me, because I have no relevant knowledge whatsoever. The only footballers who I can name are a smattering of the ones who are relevant when I was growing up. Because primary school children think it's very important to be into football. And even though I wasn't into football, I got a lot of second-hand exposure to names like David Beckham and Wayne Rooney, Michael Owens, who I think was a goalkeeper. I'm assuming the other two are strikers because that's like the exciting job in football, is being a striker. Was Ronaldinho a footballer? He's not a tennis player, is he? So I guess he must be a footballer. That's it. Those are the footballers that I can name. There might have been a Pele, because I always think of the geological rock Pele's hair whenever anybody talks about him. I have no idea about the sports. But those are the only two possible sports. Those are the only two possible sports that I would know somebody from. Because I don't know the names of any cricketers. I guess I know the names of some snooker players. Not many, but some. We're seeing a lot more bone, but I don't think I'm much close to getting any of them out. So I'm gonna do some kind of big chunks. Oh my god, there's another one. The Hawaiian goddess? That is where the rock one comes from. I have no idea if that is where the apparently Brazilian Tomato says footballer gets his name from. Was it adverts for erectile dysfunction? Oh, more power to him. Okay, we are getting more bits off. There's another quite large bone fragment. Considering what we've got already, the rest of this is huge. It says, normally when somebody says a player is on fire, they mean it metaphorically. I don't know, I've played Mario Strikers. Or whatever it's called. I've not played it enough to know what it's called, but I have played it. Lots of bits to get off from here. Okay, this is definitely a pelvis. I know I said something was a pelvis before and it was a shoulder, but this is definitely a pelvis. Unless it is sneakily secretly two pelvises on top of it. No, this is one. This is a pelvis. Okay. Okay, it says, unfortunately, the Mario sports games are not a good depiction of the real-world play of the games involved. How dare you, King Girl? How could you disrupt my view of reality, sir? I've got to go quite deep to get whatever this bit is that's going into the rock that way. I just sprayed myself with the rock again. That's fine. It feels a bit weird calling this rock, even though I've definitely dug through rocks that are softer than this. It's still soft enough that it's not. We've started this with the Olympic Games. Hedgehogs are banned from nearly all categories. I've not played Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I feel like a lot of Olympic sports would not be very good to turn into video games, or at least video game mini games. You know, stuff like running. How do you make running an entertaining video game? You know, either you go down the route of like QWERTY or whatever it's called, where you have to individually move like joints and limbs, which I don't think you could do at an Olympic running sort of a pace. I guess you could make it a rhythm game, perhaps? Oh, we've got like a big fault here. I wonder if I can actually leverage that without breaking anything. This bone is holding it in. One of the nice things about rocks with fossils is they do often break down the fault lines of the fossils. Okay. That has mostly gone well, but I'm a bit worried about flexing this bit of bone too much. I sort of figure if I can dig this bone here, out from this side, then this whole chunk comes away with just that bone. That's my dream. In the Navy. That looks good. Oh, this is going so much smoother and easier than the last time. I can't believe it was just that one rock that was awful. Because there's also doing the motion control boom. Oh, of course, yes. It is phenomenal how much Nintendo really are like the trendsetters with video games. Like, they are phenomenally successful in sales, but they are phenomenally successful for a reason. You know, the Nintendo Wii walked so that Joy-Cons and Kinect and everything else could run. Then the Switch walked so that the Steam Deck could run. And now with the new Joy-Cons, it looks like they've got sort of mouse-style controller support. Is what it's looked like. I haven't been able to, like, clearly tell. I never watched the Nintendo Direct in enough detail to know for certain. They're the trendsetter when the trend lands. Yes. This is coming of a very odd duck, says me Tipathon. Oh, every dinosaur in the world is feeling so burned right now. Also, you're not wrong. That is basically what a dinosaur is. It's a very odd duck. Okay, we've got a bone. We got this bone free, weirdly, which is not the bone I was trying to get free. But we've got it. There we are. That is a pelvis, like I sort of said it was going to be. There's my brush. There's my brush. We are very, very white, caked up white, like an Elizabethan gentleman or an Elizabethan lady, with plaster dust. Yes, as the Virtual Boy limped over the finish line, so the Oculus could come crawling after the 20 years later. I don't think I know what the Virtual Boy is. Look at this! Look at how little this is held in by. How frustrating. The Virtual Boy is remembered more favorably. I don't think I have any particular negative impressions towards the Oculus, even though I don't have any positive impressions towards it either. Like, it's just kind of there. Ah, okay, I see why this wasn't coming out. This bone actually curves away all the way around inside here like that. I thought this was going to be an easy job. I think we've also got another bone kind of included here as well. What the hell is this thing? What am I digging up here? Is this a foot? It feels weirdly flat on top to be a foot. Okay, it is a foot. Let's get it out of the other foot. this is still on Celtic music? This sounds very Mystery Dungeon. Yeah, okay, it is Celtic music still. Weird. Oh well. It says, I'd be curious to see a comparison of Wii U and Switch sale figures over time, and when the Switch overtook the Wii U's lifetime sales. I imagine relatively quickly, given that the Switch either is or nearly is the best-selling console of all time. I think they may have re-released the PS2 just so it can keep the title. I seem to remember that happening. It's a bold claim, Tipathon. Kingo, can you verify? The Wii U was the only Nintendo console since the GameCube that I didn't have, or possibly since the GBA, whichever came first. It's the only one that I didn't have. We're a big Nintendo family, and even we didn't get a Wii U. The thing about Virtual Boys is they're not real. There's a few VTubers that I'm into that could be described as Virtual Boys, but I think possibly only with the most loose interpretation possible of the word boys. Okay, there we go. Another burnout. Of how Nintendo's on a repeated boom and bust. Well, we are shaping up for a bust if it is. Oh, okay. This is out, and I'm still none the wiser as to what it is. What is this? Is this just a rock for it to stand on? I feel like that's cheating if we're digging a rock out of the rocks so that the fossil can stand on it. I can't see what else this could be. How do I keep losing my brush? And then trying to brush it with the wrong end of the brush, which obviously nobody saw. It's not like we're live on the internet or anything. Rock in the rock. They did put a rock in the rock. And it bamboozled me. Because it's the one thing I wasn't expecting them to do. Okay, this is going to be the matching pelvis. Matching hip, I suppose. That was actually really nice. That's really exposed this nicely. Oh, I accidentally put a tiny amount of weight on this and it's come out. Fudge is that? Whoever this is, they've got terrible posture to have a bend in their spine like that. This looks glow in the dark, and there is only one glow in the dark, which by a process of elimination means this presumably is the T-Rex. Which would also explain the tiny little arms. I have no idea what bit of a T-Rex looks like this though. I've got some more spine that is actually spine and not ribs. Which is nice. So the spine is kind of the structure that we can put the rest of the animal together on. It's kind of its job. It's kind of the whole point of being a vertebrate. It says Nintendo 64, super fondly. GameCube, remember hearing about the exclusives they lost. Wii, now they're back. Wii U slump. The Switch brings it back. I don't think I'd call the GameCube a slump. Not just because I had one, but also because, like, I know lots of people who view the GameCube and its titles with great fondness. And it had two of the greatest Pokemon games of all time, which helps. In fact, I might be so tempted to say sort of the top 5 Pokemon games, 2 of them were on GameCube. That's how far I would go in my praise of Colosseum. I am of course not talking about Pokemon Box. Although Pokemon Box was I guess a trendsetter in its own way. You know, it was Pokemon Home before Pokemon Home was Pokemon Home. After the VB, they had nothing but successful portables. Maybe the Game Boy Mini? Game Boy Micro, the really small one. I don't think I had one of those, whatever they are. Were they like single game mini console things? If so, I think I do at least know what. Just say same generation as the PS2 and OG Xbox. Yeah, of the 3. Well, I don't know about the OG Xbox, but yeah, of the 3, like it definitely lost out to the PS2. Me too, may not ask, but Dizzy, what is my favorite Pokemon? My favorite Pokemon is kind of a couple. Anything from the Cyndaquil line. I love Cyndaquil, I love Typhlosion, I love Galana. And they are, of course, all like the same individual. If I had to pick one, I guess I would say Cyndaquil. It's kind of a cop-out cheat answer because they were also my favorite, my first Pokemon. Because my first Pokemon game was Pokemon Silver. Which I'm also putting up there as one of the top 5 Pokemon games of all time. But I think it is a less good game than it thinks. I think Heart Gold and Soul Silver are probably the top Pokemon game of all time. Now I should just have 3. Is the Dreamcast that young? I had no idea. I thought the Dreamcast was like a decade older than that. You sort of, because you hear about the Dreamcast as being sort of this old story from the time when Sega thought they could make consoles. You know, like an old wives' tale. You don't expect anybody to have ever actually seen one in real life. Much less for them to have been around when you existed. 99 Dreamcast. Oh my goodness! Wow, I genuinely had no idea. This bit's awkward just because there's lots of bones all together still. I really want to get this chunk out. Oops, pop. There we go. That's been a big help. Needless to say, this is a lot more gung-ho than Fossil Prep. Nidwan says the Dreamcast had a lot of ideas, some of them were good. I'm tempted to say big if so. I really know very little about like what was wrong with the Dreamcast, why it flopped. I just know that it did. Bye. It wasn't the Philips CDI. Yeah, it was up against one of the strongest generations of home consoles that there's ever been for the time. I think the main problem for the Wii U was that it was up against the Wii. You know, that's not even of the same generation. It's just, it was just such a staggeringly good console. I'm sure, without having looked up the figures, I'm sure the Wii was probably still outselling the Wii U while they were both on sale together. Says you'd had Nintendo vs Sega for ages, the new kid Sony comes up soon with PlayStation, and both the PS2 and the other new competitor, the Xbox. Yeah. I guess they just couldn't sort of keep up anymore. But like, was it actually a bad console, or was it just not as good, or did it just not have as many good games? Nintendo has/had a reputation as a less serious gaming console. Yes, that is definitely true. I mean, it still does. You know, I don't think serious hardcore gamers play their serious hardcore games on the Switch very much. Although, I mean, nowadays, if you're playing your serious hardcore games on console at all, you're kind of missing a trick, really. But that's the thing. That's why the Switch is still relevant when like the Xbox and the PlayStation just aren't anymore. Is because both of the other two are made redundant by just having a PC, whereas the Switch isn't. You know, yes, the PlayStation and Xbox are both cheaper than a PC with the equivalent gaming specs. But if you're going to buy a PC for several hundred quid anyway, you can then either buy a several hundred quid PlayStation, or you can spend those several hundred quid on making your PC better, and then it is better than both the PC you were going to have and the PlayStation you were going to have. Okay, it says apparently the Saturn was seen as too expensive, so they went for cheaper off-the-shelf parts. Having said that, they discontinued Dreamcast only a year after the PS2 launch and 6 months before the GameCube launched. Okay. Oh, I wasn't expecting that to come out, but that's out. There we go. That looks like a pretty T-Rexy sort of a skull, doesn't it? There we are. What time is it? It is nearly 5. Okay, 7 might be, because we've got quite a few pieces, 7 might have been a reasonable sort of end time to set for this block. Because we've been at it for about an hour and a half. I don't think we're quite halfway done. Oh, maybe we are. There's not a lot of rock left. Maybe we are halfway done. It sort of slowed down as I came to this. Like we just took some massive chunks off at the very start. But once all the bones are on top of each other, that's a lot harder to do. I did not mean to press on you like that. I have got you out now. I hope I didn't break you. I didn't think I broke you. I would have absolutely broken a real bone. If I'd done that to it, it would have just flaked and snapped in half. One of the advantages of working in plastic. We've got a lot of stuff out. We have a lot of parts. Once again, just coming to a spine like ending is always really annoying. With this stuff, it's soft enough that I can kind of just put the tool in the vicinity and break off a chunk without even touching the fossil, which is really nice, because that's like the goal. Now, obviously, the goal is to break them off with a lot less force than this, because real fossils are a lot more delicate. It says, until recently, neither have really had unmissable exclusives. And what am I missing if I don't get a PS4? NAC? I don't even know what NAC is. Are the FIFA games available on available not on PS4? Because when I had a PS4 joint ownership of the PS4 with my ex, one of the things I was quite excited to get, even though I'm not a big FIFA gamer, but I was excited to have a FIFA game because they are fun. So it was that, and it was Marvel's Spider-Man, because that was a PlayStation exclusive at the time, although it has since come to PC. Sadly, I lost custody of the PS2, PS4, and I lost custody of Marvel Spider-Man. When we broke up. I haven't got another one, have I? So I don't know what NAC is. NAC was supposed to be the next stage of gaming evolution. It's a God of War like with better particle physics. I didn't realize God of War was distinctive enough to have like a God of War like genre. Is it very different from lots of other like RPGs? Does it have its own mechanics enough to have God of War like as a classification? Can you tell I've never played a God of War game? Does he not understand evolution? No, I suspect not. Oh, that does remind me of a game I did pick up recently in a sale. That's sort of an evolutionary style game. I'm quite excited for. I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called because I'm a fool. But it'll be another water themed game coming to my stream in the near future, which maybe we're a little bit saturated by, if you pardon the pun. I'm not sure what's okay. I was about to say I'm not sure what's keeping this rev cage attached. The answer was not very much. There we go, now it's done. Give it a little brush off. Hack and slash is the term. Oh. For this one after. It's kind of funny that developers think evolution is this thing that happens in big bold steps instead of small gradual changes. It's the exact difference between video game Pokemon evolution and real world. You're right, there is amusement to that. Okay, we have two halves of a ribcage. How much spine do we have? Can we assemble a whole spine? Do we think? I do not think, because I think these two are going to go like that. Which means we need a bit in the middle. And this is going to go on one end. Presumably this end? Like that? Seems reasonable. Let's brush. Oh wow, I've knackered this brush. Okay, and then we have a leg. A whole leg, I think. There's two pelvis pieces. I don't think the pelvis pieces go on that spine. So I think we're still waiting for some bits for now. That's fine, because we've got bits. We've got another bit that we've exposed a bit of here at some point. And this is a foot sticking out. So that is gonna go back into the rock a bit like that, I think. But you right up against this spine the whole way, just to make my life more annoying. Or maybe not, if I could just flake the whole thing exposed in one go like that. Sometimes paleontology is a very cruel mistress, and sometimes it isn't. Mind, I still don't know if we're going to be able to get this foot separate from the spine here. But now that I've got sort of a side-on view, I'm going to at least try. Bones connected to the kill him. Oh, me tomato. You know, now I think about it, there's an awful lot of excitement out there for like dino mummies and werewolf mummies and stuff, at least if you look in the right places. By the right places I mean Tumblr. But there's not, at least that I've seen, any like excitement for dinosaurs. What gives, huh? Is T-Rex not big and scary enough for you? Oh, King with an O. Although there probably are people lusting for mummy mommies, if that makes sense. I don't know if my emphasis on the O in mommy is coming through. How much leg is there? Okay, it's going to be a fair old chunk more leg. So you might want to just start taking big chunks off of this again. There we are. That's a bit better. Take off some of the really big bits. Be a bit careful about all these things sticking out. So I don't want to damage them. Because that's what gives. Is that you don't know enough scalies, trust me, there are plenty of people that have to punk practicals. Fair enough, I stand corrected. I'm fully happy to accept this just because I don't go seeking this sort of stuff out. It's just whatever I come across kind of in the wilderness lands that are Tumblr. Anyway, although there isn't a Tumblr algorithm, it is still quite sort of self-reinforcing. Because you know, if you reblog from someone who uses, or if you follow someone who uses the term dragon, you're likely to find that they reblog from other people who are interested in dragon mummies. because their shared interests, and then you find out that you're following a bunch of other people who you don't even realize because you followed them for some other thing that you blocked, or that was reblogged from them. Ah, you got like a little extra toe. It's got a little extra toe on the side. That's what's keeping you in the rock at this end. I wasn't aware of. There was that dating sim Goodbye Volcano High. That's true! I'd forgotten about that until you mentioned it, Tom. Because it kind of sort of came across my awareness because dinosaurs. But I don't really play enough dating sims to be sort of... I say enough dating sims. I don't really play any dating sims. So I think I sort of allowed it to pass me by. Okay, that's not a lag. Website I want Elon Musk to buy? Please God no. They've got enough staff layoffs going on as it is. Well, I say that, I think Tumblr has been having staff layoffs every year since I joined it back in my late teens. So either they had the biggest staff in the world when I joined, or all of the layoffs end up being sort of replaced anyway. So we're going to try and just break up all the things that are near this, in the hope that we can just kind of flake it out. Might be scuppered by having to get quite a lot of material on this side. I feel like we do not have enough space in here for all of the parts that are left to make this into a complete skeleton. I think Tumblr would break him. You also think I should play Hatoffel Boyfriend? That's the pigeon one, right? The pigeon dating sim? See, there's lots of weird dating sims out there. But I'm not really sure, like, how serious I'm supposed to be taking a lot of them. You know, you see somebody has made a pigeon dating sim, and your immediate reaction is, oh, that must be like a little joke, a little meme. But I'm not sure if it is. I've seen enough people sort of seeming to be seriously playing it on Twitch. That I'm not certain. There's a speed dating for ghosts? I don't think I know that. I've played Monsterprom. That's basically a dating sim. Or at least the first one is. I think the others are all quite different. This is wobbling quite a bit, so it is nearly out. There we go, just pull it out. I released the fourth one soon. Oh, I wasn't aware that they were. But I guess it's probably about the right time, considering the amount of time that came out between the first three, and how long ago the third one was. So I'm not super surprised to hear you say it, but you are the first person I'm hearing it from. This is the second one is similar with summer camp theme instead of prom. Okay. I have seen people playing the third one, which is the Rose Trip, and I have played the first one. I have not really engaged with the second one. The first one was fun and fine. You know, I'm not sad that I played it, but it obviously wasn't enough to make me fall in love enough to buy the others. But I would probably be happy to play the others. Especially if there's anyone from MonsterCon out there listening who wants to sponsor me. No, kidding. April 24th, this month? Okay. I think this is the other half of a skull. We had half a skull before. There's half a skull, so I think this is the other half of the skull. We might have the whole spine as well. So we might be nearly done. That's what, it's a bit past 5? That's fairly solid going. Flake it off with my hands. Why not? Says, I think the conventional theme of this new one seems interesting. Beautiful glitch. It's gonna go get in here. Sponsor Dizzy. We all love to romance monsters. The Monster Prom. The Monster Prom monsters are not very monstrous. Like, which is probably better for me. And for like a mass market audience. But I feel like they surely can't be monstrous enough for like the hardcore monster audience. Again, not knowing loads about them. This is just my supposition. You know, like, okay, there's a Himba werewolf, but like, he's a Himba werewolf who just looks like a very hairy man. Okay, yeah, there's a demon, but he's just a boy with red skin. You know? And a slightly antisocial personality. It's monster dating for normies. Is he a Chamber Wealth, or is he just there? I thought he was a Wealth. It has been a while since I played. This is the other half of the skull out now. I'm not going to put the skull together, because it may need to go around something, like the jaw or like the spine, when it does go together. I don't know if I'm missing any pieces. Let's get all of our skull bits, spine bits even. See if they do now go together. Okay, hopefully they've included like 3 of these bottom spines to match up here. Oh, this is a terrible fit between these parts. My goodness. Don't know if anything I can do with this brush is going to help that, but we'll give it our best shot just in case. Now, does a terrible fit mean that they're actually not supposed to fit together at all? And that I am in fact expecting another bit of spine? I don't think so. This sort of looks about the right length for the scale that it is. I think just none of these kits ever fit together that well. Where do I think this goes on? It goes on there across the joint. This is already so much of a better looking ribcage than this. Look at this! Like, this is basically 2 halves of a spine that stick onto the existing spine. I really wish this bit would go in better. All of these fits are similarly bad. It says, to be fair, people really liked Zoe and Calculesta in the first game. Who the hell? I don't know who is who. Which one's Zoe and which one is Calculesta? I seem to remember that my favourite was the sort of the party ghost one, who I think was called Polly, maybe? I need a pair of pliers to squeeze these together, really. I don't think I can exert enough force with my hands to get them to stick. Right, that's half a rib cage. Here's the other half of the rib cage. Oh, this is terrible. So there's an altitude formation with tentacles for hair and eyes across her body. Thinking this was a robot? I think they're DLC characters. Oh, okay, that would explain why I have no idea who they are. Like the first one, I was like, "Do you mean the Gorgon lady?" But no, I definitely didn't see a robot, so they probably are DLC. Oh, look at his little body, because it's not quite joining right, so it's a bit of an awkward angle. It really needs to be more like that, and instead it's like that. I can't get them to go in straight. so that's those. And then we have a pelvis, which we think goes this way around, based on the other T-Rex skeleton. Oh, the pelvis fits in nicely though. Or at least it does on that side. Oh, that's clever. I don't know if I can show this off to you. But this one fits into a hole in this, and they go through the spine like that. That's clever. It bamboozled me briefly, but it's very clever. Again, the holes aren't really good enough. The push fit tolerances just aren't quite good enough on the model. Which is, at least it does, like I said, it seems to be a bit of a recurring problem for these kids. Okay, oh, and then we have two, okay, we're missing a bottom jaw, but that might be the only bit we're missing. We have one leg in this side, oh, and whatever this plugs into, oh, that plugs into the bottom of this foot. This rib cage keeps falling off. I think it's always going to as well. So that's unfortunate. It says Zoe's an eldritch abomination, living a new life as a high school girl who's obsessed with fan fiction. That seems entertaining. Sure, I'm convinced about his pose. I think it's supposed to be like this. A bit. He's not standing very flat. His leg just comes so far forward, my goodness. And that ribcage really doesn't want to stay on at all. He might need to actually be glued together if I want him to stay up long term. Just because the parts really are that bad. There's just no grip strength on them at all. But yeah, I think his posture's kind of like this. I'd like him to be a bit further pushed forward. That's the best I can do. Okay, so we're missing one bit of jaw, one lower jaw. Guess take off all the low-hanging fruit bits. There we go, there's a bone. Doop him out. Take a stab in the dark. I don't think there's anything left in this bit. Oh wow, that that went really well. Don't know if you can see how much of the bone that exposed, but that went really well. It's really washed out, isn't it? Blimey. Okay, we are nearly. This is nearly out already. I need a little bit of encouragement. There we go. Oh, amazing! It's out. Oh, there's like a little bit that runs through. I can push some of it out, but not all of it. I don't know how much I'm going to need to push out. Don't do this to the real fossils, kids. That won't help. It also won't help with your real fossils, kids. Hang on, I'm gonna try and blow it through. Nope, that didn't work either. We may just have to accept that's gonna live in there forever. But yeah, I am not expecting there to be any more parts in what remains of this rock, because I think this head is sort of it. I think I am going to have to assemble it sort of around the spine all at once. Actually, I could probably put one jaw in, one half of the skull in. Lay it down in here, and then put the other half of the skull in around. Everything's falling off in the sky. I think that rock in the middle is causing us problems. Oh my god, literally everything is falling off of the sky. There we go. Heads together. It's not very posable, but it wiggles. Alright, try and put it back. I'm not going to pretend this is easy to make. I'm not going to pretend that I could make a better job. But what I am going to say is if I'd made this bad of a job, I would have sent it back to the people whose job it was to make this and said, can you please give it another go? because you know it doesn't fit. It sort of it just doesn't. Yeah, this joint does not really go in that, and it doesn't stay in even if you could sort of force the issue a little bit. Well, I'm going to try and finish assembling him off stream sometimes, because there's no point me sitting here trying and pushing the same things in all together over and over again, and it just falling apart. I'm getting frustrated with it, but if I can hold them in place, that is our completed Tyrannosaurus Rex. That was goal number one of the numbers. He is looking good. The parts look much better than this model, if they all go together and stay together. I am gonna quickly go through this. Just in case there's any more parts in it. I'm not expecting there to be. Which is why I'm happy to use the metal tool. Yep, nothing there. Okay, I'm happy to call that one done. There we go. What time is it? It is 5:30. I think we can make a decent start on the next one. We're definitely not going to finish the 2 that we have remaining today, but we can make a decent start on the next one. Which I think will put us in a good position. They are numbered on the bottom, so I do want to see if I can do them in numerical order if possible. That's number 5. I want number 5. Number 3. Okay, so here is number 3. We're going to be using that as our rest, because our professional book says that we must have one, so we're going to be bracing things like that when we need to brace things. This is number 2. Number 2. This is what we're going to make a start on, but probably not finish today. This one has a little bit already exposed there, so that is going to be where we start, I think. And this, I guess, is going to be made out of a slightly different material again, because it's not glow in the dark. So who knows? Who knows what it's going to be like? Is it really washed out? Can you like not see anything because it's all white on white on the slightly washed out camera? Because that's what it looks like on my OBS preview, I'll be honest. It just sprayed me. It's a little hard to see the block itself. I don't know if there's very much I can do about that. What twiddles have I got? I've got saturation and sharpness. Oh, that's high saturation. I don't know what sharpness actually does, mind. Whatever that is. idea. I can turn up the contrast, but it doesn't normally help. That makes things a lot worse. Can I get back? You may simply be stuck with like this. This is the problem of digging something white out of something a slightly different shade of white. Unfortunately, I guess I've got the magnifying glass I could use to help you guys see. Oh, no, I can't. It's covered in dust and scratches. You're not seeing anything through that. May have erred by starting in the middle of the block. Possibly, although that was lovely frames there. I may also want to actually adjust my workspace because there's all of this. There's a whole block's worth of guff just sat in front of me. Obviously that's not really what I want. So I move it over to the side, so I've got a bit more space directly in front of me. If it piles up there, it's not so much of a problem. Really, I should probably go and empty this tray rather than abandoning the stream for another sort of 5 minutes. Maybe I should actually do that anyway, just because then I can grab a drink and such things. I mean, I've got a drink, it's over there, but I don't want to touch it while I'm covered like this. Alright, I'm gonna do that. We're gonna have a little transition screen for a sec. I'll be back very soon. I'm just gonna wash my hands, grab a drink, empty the tray. Be back soon. Alright, here I am, alive again. Hopefully you can all hear me. God, my throat has really gone, hasn't it? Just from talking for how many hours straight. Oh boy. Where's my camera? There we go. Oh, camera's gone a bit blue. That happens sometimes when I knock the cable. Let's see if we can get that fixed. We all good while I was gone? I see a penguin was still here, so I was Mr. Penguin. Oh, I'm so sorry for you. Camera. There we go. Camera. We're upside down again. That's obviously part of the fixing. It's turning us back upside down. Where I didn't really want to be. There we go. It's because we've gone to a funny position. There we are. Okie doke. We are pretty much ready to get back in business. I need to have a good old glug of this. There we go. Alright, okay, we should be just about ready to resume the block that we are calling block number 2, even though we've done quite a few blocks already. We're calling it number 2. Let's grab our spikes that we were using before, our brush, everything else can probably stay away for now. I don't think we're going to move them. Yeah, this is what we've uncovered. This sort of textured bit. This feels a lot firmer than this. Maybe because it's not the glow-in-the-dark material. Maybe this one will be even easier, who knows? Start as usual by sort of breaking some large chunks off to get at this from the other side. Don't know, because I don't know what it is. Don't know how big it's going to be. If I had to guess, I'd say that's going to be a steggy backplate down the spine of a stegosaurus. That's what I think we're dealing with there. This thing we've got end on here might be totally separate and not attached to it. Although they're very close together. That to be the case. There's not a lot of room for them to sort of be sliding past each other. Does indeed seem to be the case though. My hand. Let's see about this bit. Okay. Ah, no, look, they are attached. Don't know if you can see. This is a very weird looking spine. This might be a bit they've had to sort of make some sacrifices on for the sake of making it a toy. But you know, it's kind of fair enough. Though now I think about it, I'm sure they must exist out there somewhere. I can't say I've ever seen like a more sort of adult-oriented, more highly accurate, highly detailed kit for building a dinosaur, like literally bone by bone. I've only ever seen stuff that are sort of models on this sort of a level, where you'll have like a piece that is the leg, say. Maybe a couple of pieces that are the head. I'm sure there must be a market out there for it, and I'm sure there must be people who could make models of that quality, because it would be the same as making like highly detailed model train replica, let's say. And those are things that I know definitely exist. It's just the more grown-up version is just going down, fixing yourself and putting in the legwork. If only it were that simple, Kingo, I would do nothing else. Gump was the first thought. I'm not an expert in those, but they sound like they probably are the same sort of caliber of model I'm thinking of. This might be quite a large part. Because like we've already exposed 3. One there, big one here. 3 different plates. I haven't hopped the fence at a dig site in the middle of the night with a shovel and run off with a femur. Unsurprisingly, no, I have not. You'll have heard, I'm sure, at great length already, my opinions on those who commit fossil theft, and to a slightly lesser extent, sort of the fossil trade in general. I'm not really a big fan of. Like, it's kind of a, from a practical standpoint, there are enough ammonite fossils and orthocone fossils and gastropod fossils and shark tooth fossils in the world that we can afford as a species to sell them. Like, we don't need literally every single one of them for science. That is true. And it does help get people interested in paleontological sciences, having these sort of things as fancy things that they can buy. Okay, so it's sort of dino femur. Let's just say the night guard wasn't finding it easy to chase. Once I got what I came for. Oh my god. Yeah, like there technically is a place, I guess, for those things. They can serve a purpose. And it's also true that many paleontologists, at least in Britain, probably couldn't get by as paleontologists, you know, without fossil hunting. You know, I know people who didn't get them through uni, but it helped them get through uni at undergrad, financially speaking. But at the same time, you know, it's hard to extricate the sort of the low-key fossil trade from the much bigger problems of private fossil collecting and private fossil buyers and fossil poaching and what have you. Yeah, they are two sides of the same coin. One just happens to be a bit more palatable. This is a huge part. We might well find every other part of this whole skeleton while we're trying to dig this piece out. We must be going towards a tail of some kind. Or a neck. Very easy to get those two confused. We started like right at the top of the spine with the biggest plates. And they're getting smaller and it's curving up in this direction. It's an interesting and very different choice to make this part be like this. Sort of all as one bit. Don't know if it's how I would have done it, but I don't know how I would have done it. Scrape off underneath. So we are going to have to dislodge it from the underside as well. We're not close to finding either end, either extent. More is coming uncovered. Really not sure what the hell's going on here. I need to adjust my position, which also of course means smacking the camera about. Ah, I see, that's like that's an injection, a mold injection. That's what's giving me trouble. Oh! I guess we found the end, by mistake. Sure what shape this is going to have, like laterally downwards. Seems to be a very big part. A huge humongous bone. I guess it's just sort of hollow and concave. Doesn't have much thickness. Brush out the junk that's in there. Oh wow, that's just a huge cloud of dust. I want to make sure that baggie is fully over the sheet metal, so it's fully over where my PC opens up. If I really wanted this to be hell, what I'd make is a version where it's kind of like Operation. The fossils themselves are live. You get a buzz every time you actually touch it with the tool. Because obviously you're not supposed to. You're supposed to touch the rock with the tool. It would be painfully slow to do it well. Which, of course, is... I hope I didn't go in a drink. I think we're okay. Is what real fossil prep is. It's very slow. Just a lump of rock there. Well, off this one. Must be off the last one. I just didn't clear away. Mind you, I don't know how you wire up something like this to an operation style game. There's another bit here. There's obviously an attachment point. If we're lucky, that'll be the end of this part. Oh god, there's another plate. I feel my hand's starting to get a little tired, so I think 7 definitely was a good call for an end point. If we end up having to finish a little ahead of that, it won't be the end of the world either. What an awkward thing this is. What an awkward thing. The underside's pretty textured as well. Which is going to make it even harder to get it away. I thought it'd be a lot grippier if it was kind of smooth. I'm going to get this whole corner off. Go, good start. So once we have the corner off, I can start taking chunks off this way. Okay, there's another bit. Same part, do we reckon? It's an absolutely enormous bit, if that is. This runs basically the whole length of the block. Okay, that actually was really successful. Yeah, look, we've got another Another big plate here. Is this just going to be way, way bigger than the T-Rex? What the hell? How are you going to fit the rest of this dinosaur in here? Like, all of this bit of rock is taken up by just this one part. As most people don't know, this T-Rex is actually tiny. I was going to say big if true, but I mean, I guess not big if true. I thought T stands for Tyrannosaurus. It actually stands for Teeny Tiny Saurus. I have no idea how I'm going to get this out. Even when I've like found all of it. Getting under it to get it out is going to be a total nightmare. The thing is, if this spine is bigger than this one, then that means that this is like the halfway point of the because it's going to get smaller again to go into the head. So I think we're looking at a Triceratops Stegosaurus that's like this long. From here to here. So that's got to be bigger than that T-Rex. That's so weird. Like, I wasn't necessarily expecting them to be all the same scale, but I was expecting them all to be similar sizes. That didn't feel good. You can tell I'm not a real dinosaur fan because I should be able to figure out which end is the head based on the shapes of these plates, but I can't. Because they're not front-back asymmetric, but I can't work out which way they're leaning. Triceratops is the scale, it's 3 times bigger than you'd expect. I think that is true, honestly. If you've never seen a Triceratops skeleton before and then you see one, it is terrifying how huge these animals got. You know, it's sort of weird to think that not all of dinosaur life, but a lot of dinosaur life existed on a scale that Western humans don't interact with ever. You know, we rarely see animals bigger than a cow. Depending on your exact country, you might see a moose sometimes. Moose and wolves are both comparatively giant. Yeah. I do really want to go and see at some point some just truly phenomenal, huge wolves that exist. Not in the wild. I mean, it would be fun to see them in the wild, but scarier. I mean, see them in a zoo or park or something. Because I know we have them in the UK. I think Whipsnade might have some, which I have been to as a very small child. But obviously the impact of that is somewhat lost now on adult me. I have no idea how I'm going to get all this stuff out the middle. It feels like there's a huge amount in the middle. Which also feels odd for a skeleton. I'm wondering if they've actually just made the Stegosaurus not a skeleton, and they've just made an actual model of a Stegosaurus true to life. Oh, the scraping of this along the board made my What sort of weird shape is this bit that we're now coming to? What the hell is going on here? It's one of my butterfly princessauruses. Okay, this is looking a bit more ribcage. I don't know if you can kind of see. That at least is something I can comprehend. I don't know why you'd make this. I don't know why you'd make it like this. If I've got to dig it out. Maybe I should just stop with this end and just start working on going in from this side at it. Because the problem is I can't just go down because the bone's in the way. I can't easily go in sort of on the end because it's not very sturdy. And also, it doesn't make for good camera shots, you can't see it. Like, I can do that, but I'm gonna have to do a lot of that if I want to get there. I guess I could use the scoop. So it wants me to have a thing while I scoop. I will. Oh, we hit something. good. Okay, I was just able to prise it out with my hands. And there's another part in here. I hope that was supposed to be. It looks like it was supposed to be a separate part. But it's a bit scary when that happens. Well, that worked. Wish there was something else in here. Nope, we're good. Well, that went really nicely. Okay, we've got our first bit. We are, what, 40 minutes in, and we've got our first bit. It's a lot longer than it took on the last one, but this one's been a lot more awkward. I guess there's probably fewer bits, just because this one bit is so huge. Okay. We're getting somewhere. I'm seeing more of it from this side. This feels almost Zelda music here. Yep, that's a real strange looking duck. It sure do be. Oh, that was okay. That was a big chunk that came there. This feels softer than the last one, like this material. I'm sure it can't be. I'm sure they wouldn't have made it out of two different materials and different bits of it. But it feels softer. This bit now feels very Doctor Who. I think it was the right choice, choosing to back out and come in again from a different side. Now, we can go all the way through. And that makes this feel less intimidating. Because there's a lot less of it than it sort of felt like. Oh, and also sometimes we just poke out a whole shard like that. Oh, and this is only one half as well? Because obviously, like, there's these ribs on this side, but somewhere else in this model is going to be the other ribs. How is it all going to fit in this block? Okay, we've got that bit out now, which is quite handy. I think we're starting to find this end of the part. I always want to say of the bone, but it sounds so pretentious if I'm referring to these being like real bones. I feel pretentious enough calling the plaster rock. sure if plaster of Paris is technically a rock or not. Probably isn't. I'm also not sure if this is actually plaster of Paris, because I am not a builder. Can I even know any builders? I should also say, in addition to those of you who have been super generous, which I'm not going to dwell on right now for a second, I do also appreciate those of you who have just sort of sat here for what is now like hour, I don't know, 10 maybe, of me just hacking away at blocks of fake rock with fake fossils inside. And if nothing else, keeping me company. Y'all are real beautiful. I think it says 6 or so. No, it must be more than 6, cause this is what this is hour 4 of just today, plus all what happens before. Obviously, not necessarily everyone has been here for all of that, but my point stands, damn it. Oh yes, that would make sense. It is just past the 6th hour of this stream. You are correct. It's a horrible little gap. Can I show you that gap in there? It's a horrible gap. I can barely fit this in it. Never mind get anything out of it. It just keeps going in this direction. A fossil without end. Without any apparent mercy either. We found this, which is going to be a joint bit again. See, I want to just go like that down there, but that's much too close to the actual fossil for my liking. Oh my god, there's more here. Surely that can't be the same bit. Surely. Where have they put the rest of this Stegosaurus? This one piece just keeps going on forever. Ow! Ow, that was my thumb. Now you get tell I'm getting tired. I'm making mistakes, silly mistakes like that. Luckily, I made it with this blunt plastic bit instead of anything sharp or metal. Oh, okay, we're stopping soon. We're stopping really soon. We're stopping in half an hour. Oh god. Oh god, okay. Right, I accidentally got this between the tines of a rib that I didn't know was there. You're kidding me, is this all the same part? No, it can't. That must be a separate part. I'm gonna play gently with this, so I don't want it getting stuck in between bits again. I mean, it looks pleasingly sort of obviously steggy, which is nice. You can't see this and not know that there is a stegosaurus inside this rock. Sure isn't what looking at, but that's okay. I hate to think what is going to happen when Metameton learns the existence of real-life non-duck birds. Oh, okay, that whole piece just came away. That's grand. Might be able to free this plate now. I'm very lucky. Or not. Because there's all birds and ducks, really. There are some primitive ducks, some primitive birds of the wind. I can't remember what they're called, unfortunately. Either like on a species level or as a group. But being effectively a duck was obviously an early strategy for the birds. It worked out well for them. Eagles, bald duck. Geese, mean duck. Swans, meaner ducks. Raptors, scaly ducks. This is such a nightmare part to have been the first part. Like but given its size, it's logical that it was the first part that we would hit. Just the most likely. But it's not been a good start. This part is in a really obnoxious place as well, because I can't go in at either angle, because I'll hit bits of it. And we have to abandon the thing we've been working on to get this out, before we can make much more progress. Because I don't know what this part looks like. Oh, that didn't sound good at all. That was a very bad noise. I think it's because part of this is now it's so exposed that it's now resting on the wood, on the plastic, rather than on the rock. If those words make any sense at all, which they probably didn't. Really, you have to get this out sooner rather than later. But it seems desperately committed to the later, and not tremendously keen on the sooner. Beastman says 2 ducks in a trench coat with 2 knives. Why 2 knives? What's the nose horn if the other 2 horns are knives? Beak. Isn't the beak the beak? Silly question. Two ducks, 2 beaks. Oh, of course. Oh, of course. How foolish I. I should really have seen that. I was the dino expert. Well, clearly that has been disproven here live on the internet at 6:30 p.m. on the 8th of April, 2025. The feds are on their way to my house to revoke my dino expert credentials, throw me in prison. That looks promisingly like an edge. There. That looks like an edge. I'm also very worried about what happens when this bit is free and this bit is free. It's just the ribs holding it in place. So I actually need to go kind of deeper here. Oh, I managed to... There's a bit here sticking through. I don't think I did that. Maybe I did. It's just from handling it rough. But that'll be another place to go when this is out, which will probably not be until next stream at this point, I'm thinking. I don't think we're going to get this bit done today. Owie, that was my finger. Ow! Oh, piddle. Excuse my French. I got under a rib there. I just really just ate into the rock all of a sudden. There's a couple of ribs. Out and free. That one joins across to this. So there's not too many that are actually loose, which is good for the stability of the part. Not stability, rigidity of the part. Good for not snapping it. It's good for the not snapping it. I don't think you get thrown in prison on the dino expert licenses revoked. What did I do? I didn't see the Duck Kingdom. That's what I did, or I guess did not. That rib is out. I'm also a bit worried even just going between these, because they're a bit thin. More weight on this end. Hammer. That actually helps out quite a lot. The light's getting low outdoors as well. I need to feed the fish. When I'm done with stream for today. Okay, that rib feels loose. I feel like I'm the lock-picking lawyer, like nothing on 1, a little wiggle out of 2, a little wiggle out of 3, wiggle on 4, nothing on 5, back to the beginning. As long as it makes me happy. Most people don't know the Stegosaurus were the most effective home security solution back in the day. I must admit that I've never seen the lockpicking lawyer defeat a guard dog. So, you know, maybe they're onto something. It wouldn't surprise me actually if he did have it. He takes on it. Because he does like his April Fool's jokes and things of that nature. We need to remove a lot of material here again. Because we've got to the point where the ribs are quite deep in again. Let's see how that does for us. Right. That's that one free. Now this one, it attaches here at the shoulder bone. I assume this is a shoulder bone. But then it keeps going onwards a bit further and a bit deeper. So I don't know how much more of it there is. I will say, it would suck if this was the only tool I had, because it's the only tool they provide you. That and a brush. That would be difficult. Oh, there's another piece here, there's another part. Come on, camera. Come on. Come on, camera. There's another part there. I get the feeling Stegs would be relatively docile until you mess with it. As long as he's doing the video outside, I think he'd be fine. Well, big herbivores are some of the most dangerous creatures, like on Earth today. There's a bit in Walking with Dinosaurs, which obviously is docu-fiction. Well, not docu-fiction exactly. It's a speculative documentary. But there's a bit in it where a Steggy just sort of sideswipes a passing little baby Diplodocus and kills it with its Thagomizer, kind of just because it's there. A sort of bovine mentality, though. I think elephant would be fun. Hippo would be haunting. Oh, this new bone, I think, is going to really mess with me getting these ribs out, which is a massive shame and a pain in the backside, because I was really looking forward to getting them out and done. Also, I'm not sure if this is 1 bit or 2 here. I think it is 1, because they are right up close against each other. sure what it is. Oh god, if it's the other rib cage, then I am so screwed. Because there's not much place the other rib cage can be apart from here or here, I guess. If it just is the other rib cage and all the other bones are like in between the two of them, that's gonna be so bad. That's gonna be an absolute nightmare to extricate. King says, surely those sorts of shows are like speculation. Yes, we can't get a lot of detail on social and potential herd dynamics of any fossilized species. That is definitely true. But we know stegosaurs can be herd animals. They can have a simple fan system. They can be wholly solitary. So there are things which allow us to have some educated speculation. So, for example, we do have stegosaurid tracks. I don't think we have stegosaurus tracks, but we have stegosaurid tracks, which is one of the reasons how we know that actually a lot of members of the Stegosaurus family were facultatively bipedal. They could walk on two legs some of the time, like Iguanodon and duck-billed dinosaurs could. Which is a thing of some surprise to me when I learned it, and I think probably also some surprise to anybody else. Because you don't think of this as being an animal on its back legs. You know, the presence of a single set of Stegosaurus tracks does not prove that they were solitary animals. But the presence of a lot of Stegosaurus tracks all in one place would be very strong evidence that they were not solitary animals, that they were moving as a herd. And indeed, I think Walking With has at least one scene that is like explicitly based on a set of trace fossils like that. In the which episodes? Giant of the Skies? Tyrant of the Skies? Something like that episode. It's about a Ornithochirus. It's about a pterosaur. For those who don't know what an Ornithochirus is. They have a scene in that where there's a herd of Iguanodon on the beach. And it's based on... It's with a polar canthus as well. And it's based on trackways like the real Iguanodon trackway on the Isle of Wight that we talked about on Saturday, where we know we have like a herd of animals who are moving together and in that kind of environment. But yeah, lots of dinosaur behavior is speculative. I think even the well-known concept of like raptors as being wolf analog pack animals, I think even that is actually quite speculative. I don't know that we have any real proof or evidence that they associate it that way. Yes, there's something that it's where the one Jurassic Park character goes, they do move in herds. Like even if it's a large enclosure, they're still in captivity. How Jurassic Park dinosaur social structures relate to wild dinosaur structures. That is also a fair point, but I still get why he was excited by it. if I think I'm gonna be lucky, I think I'm gonna be able to get this out without having to dig out this whole piece here. But it's gonna be close. The problem is that I'm wanting to get this out from this side. But obviously I can't see where it is from this side. Breaking off that flake helped. Yeah, it's these bits where I have to kind of go straight down. They don't look great on camera because I'm going sort of directly parallel to the camera's line of view. And they're awkward to do. On top of that, it's just a really bad combination. Okay. What time is it? 1:45. Okay, yeah, we'll be lucky to get this piece out before 7. That is my current goal. It's this piece by 7, and then we will have to come back. So it'll be Thursday that we make any more progress on Tipathon goals, because I am booked for at least part of Wednesday evening. So I'll not be able to continue stream almost indefinitely. Oh, that looked like good movement there. Trying not to hit the bones when I do that. Partly for sort of roleplay reasons, if you like. Partly for real practical reasons, so I don't want to smack into this, snap it off. Kingo says, we're going to see scientists like, look, we found out that direwolves have the same alpha pack dynamics as regular wolves, because they're also in captivity. You've looked into the direwolf story and you're unsurprisingly disappointed. I saw somebody saying that it was actually like they just made it haven't they? That's what I saw people sort of chat about. I wish they hadn't made this all one piece. Oh, piddle, extra piddle. I've hit another new bone, or a new rib of this possibly. Oh, I didn't think I was going to be there. I hope I haven't snapped a bit off the end of that. So I'm going to have to take this out of camera shot so I can move it. I think we might have gotten away with it, but this is the other ribcage here that we're now seeing. Just to make our life really inconvenient. This is the worst way around it could be as well, with all the fragile ribs pointing this way. I wonder if this would be more help. To just kind of clear lots of material away. Come in here. Kidding me, that can't be another bone, surely. Oh, I think it is. Oh, what are you doing there? This is exactly what I was afraid of, like these two bits with other bones in between them. Just to really make my life difficult. I don't know if we're getting this out, never mind how we're getting this out. We're definitely not getting this out today now. Not having made that discovery. Let's move further down the animal. Because they've apparently made 20 changes to the Grey Wolf genome, using samples of direwolf genes as a theoretical blueprint, and announced the 3 pups are definitely dire wolves. I see. Good job. Is that something I've broken? That looks broken. I don't know if you can see. Up there. That looks like it should connect across. Did I break that? Or is that actually how it's supposed to end? Because, like, it should be shorter than this rib. Which could mean it ends there. Concerning. We have a Shaka, welcome on in! Hello, I cannot hear again, okay. We'll be doing dishes soon, then online assessment. I hope things are going well. They're going alright. Someone tell Shaka that they're going alright. And that Shaka is also wonderfully appreciated, and thank them for showing up. Because, horrible hands. I wish I knew just how much there was at this end. Still to come. Is that hole the way through? I think it is. Okay, that's good. Sticking that through there. Oh, that's been a huge help for getting all of that gunk out. Oh, that's pretty huge. We can now see the actual end of this bone. Oh, I can feel it. It's starting to loosen as well. Okay, it's another huge chunk out. Another pretty big chunk out. Okay. We're super close to having this. So typing the first part of what they said and couldn't hear the second part because of a loud keyboard. Oh no. So Kingle. Oh dear. If I had clean hands, I'd put up a vote in chat as to whether people think we should compliment Shaka more or less. I think that would be fairly. What's the word I'm looking for? So that's because it's Kingo. Look at me, I'm Kingo now. Oh god, how did you become Kingo? Are we all Kingo? I don't think we're all Kingo. To my knowledge, I'm not Kingo. Can I just shoot this Kingo? No, I said I'll pet to you about not being able to hear the first part. And then I said, oh, Kingo, about Kingo forgetting to listen because of dialogues. Sorry, maybe I didn't make that second into it. Oops. Okay. What's going on? He decided we are all Kingo. You know, direwolves aren't in the same genus as grey wolves? I did not know that. I'm not super surprised by it, but I didn't know it. How good a DNA sample of direwolves do we really have? Because like it's entirely possible that only changing sort of a few genes majorly could genuinely be most of the difference between two different genera. Lots of mammal genera are genetically quite tight. Oh, are you kidding me? There's another bit to this. They haven't gone and put the whole leg as part of this half, have they? And the skeleton's only going to be in like 4 or 5 bits. That would be very disappointing as a model to put together. But it is feeling increasingly likely the more of this part that I see. Is this actually not attached at all? Oh, it's not attached at all. Okay, that is a separate part. That's the leg part. So it's just separate. Okay. Right, I retract my criticisms, or at least some of them. That means we are super close, though. We've got 5 minutes left. Can I get this out in 5 minutes? That's a distinct possibility, you know. Yeah, just gonna quickly drop by the suggestion. Lots of this could be disassociates. I kind of love that, Shaskar. We'll have to see if it catches on, I guess. Don't worry about me and Shaskingo. Shakango. Oh god, okay. Shaka's not delicious. Thank you so much, Shaka, for stopping by. Everyone thank Shaka for stopping by. Also, everyone thank yourselves. Well, not thank yourselves, but thank each other for stopping by. Because you've all been lovely and a pleasure to have. And even though I am going to be not here very soon, it is worth saying. Oh! Dang, we did it! We did it! We got the part out! So yeah, that leg bone was causing me issues. This rib cage was causing me issues. This, whatever the hell that was causing me issues. That was such an awkward piece, but we did it. Amazing. It says the genus direwolves belong to does seem to one of those fake, in your opinion, genuses that only contain one extinct species. I think that is a very strong. That's a very strong opinion on it being fake. You know, I think a genus is a measure of a meaningful sort of difference in biology, in genes mostly. I think it is fair to have genuses, or genera rather, of only one species. I think it is even fair to have lots of such genuses or genera. Oh my goodness! I think that is where we're going to wrap up for today. I'm dead chuffed about having got this part out. I'm buoyed by that. We will leave tackling the other half of the Stegosaurus, and our next block, which is the last goal that we currently have unlocked. That'll happen on Thursday. Again, that should take place after regular stream. Because I don't want you guys to lose out on overall stream time just because I broke myself on Saturday. But yes, so that is going to be it from me. Don't go anywhere for a few moments because I want to send you all off on a lovely little raid, but I'm filthy dirty, so I have to wash my hands before I can do that. So I'll be back in just a second. Don't go anywhere without me. Oh dear, my headphones are very dusty from having taken them off to go and wash my hands. That could be a problem for future visiting. Let me go and have a look at the old Twitch. Let's have a look and see who may be live. Twitch, where are you? Bub. Back to Twitch. There we go. Jack goes off to get some Cake Day cake. Enjoy that. Oh, Fion is live. We're gonna go and say hi to Fion. Oh gosh, I don't normally go late enough to raid into Fion. That's always a surprise. Slash raid. At least it's easy to spell. I have messed it up though. I've put an M in it. Raid Fion. Okie dokie. The raid is up. Once again, I must say thank you everyone for your immense generosity. You've been wonderful to have here. Thanks for keeping me company. I hope you've enjoyed the dino digging. I hope you enjoyed fishies earlier. You've all been wonderful. I'll be back tomorrow with some more Watch Dogs. And then back on Thursday with... I don't know what we'll have on Thursday. We'll have something and then we'll have more dino digging. That's the plan. That's the shape of the plan. In the meantime, you all have a wonderful evening with Fion. Keep your lovely bean energy flowing for them, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye everyone. Bye bye.